These are the two most successful versions of this project that I created. I had a lot of issues trying to work out how to get the effect that I wanted, the string bag with the fruit inside it, and I finally worked it out. It is a little bit more complex, so I'm going to draw you a little diagram first. So the first stage is applying the mesh section of the mesh bag. So I'm going to be doing some handles, and the mesh bag is roughly like this. Diamond type shapes, well, you can do your own version, but it's going to look roughly like this when we apply the masking fluid. Then we wait for that masking fluid to dry. And then within all these sections, we will apply watercolors. So pretend this is melon, oranges or lemons, carrots, whatever we decide. And then we have to wait for the watercolor to dry. Once that's happened, we go back to the masking fluid and we are going to apply the masking fluid over the watercolors. Sounds really complicated, but I think the results are going to be worth it. And then we go over the whole lot once it's all dry in black or brown or whatever colour you wish. And the results should be similar to this. The first thing we're going to paint on are the handles, and I shall be using a brush for that. And then I will change to a dip pen to create these, but you can carry on using a small brush, whatever your preference is. Right, let's dip this in here. I must be mindful to rinse it out straight away. I realised that I hadn't rinsed out two of my brushes, so I'm a little bit annoyed with myself because they are now unusable. I want to do two sort of loops. Will be the one in the front, and then I think that needs to extend a little bit further, and on this side, and then the handle back, and there's sort of a bar across there like that. Okay, rinse it out. Must keep remembering to rinse out my brushes straight afterwards. I do think I'm going to need a bit of a pencil outline to just help me with the positioning of the bag. Again, it's going to be a little bit skew with. This is just a guide so that I know where to put my dip pen lines to the extent. Starting about here. Another one needs to go there. It's not exact. If you feel like you need to add some pencil lines before you start this part of the process, then by all means do so. Okay, and now we've got to go the other way, and it's going to make kind of a diamond type shape. Great, and the last thing that I'm going to do is just outline the edge of the bag, and I'm going to create these little sort of, it's not a straight line, I'm sort of joining up where the ends of the line meet, because I have a mesh bag and it looks similar to this. So it gives a better impression that it's a certain type of bag. Now this is dried wonderfully. I'm going to just give the pencil outline of my fruit and veg inside my mesh bag. You can do whatever fruit and veg you want. You can just do a bag of lemons or carrots, even bread and wine or something. Obviously, as a food illustrator, I like my fruit and veg, so maybe that's a bit of melon. Doesn't have to be exact. I mean, it's going to be a very easy version. Up here, I think it's going to be an orange, lemon. They don't have to be to scale, as long as they're recognisable. Lemon, carrots, And in this space here, I think there's room for an aubergine or eggplant. Oh, I've got some space up here, so I'll probably do some tomatoes just to fill up that space. Oh, should be little bits of green coming out the carrot, I think. So now I'm just going to mix up some basic colours to pop in there. Obviously red of the watermelon slice that I've got there. You do want them to be pretty vibrant, but don't forget that you can mix pigments upon the page. So I'm just going to leave a little gap there for the green of the rind. I might add a tiny drop of the magenta there. So I'm just using a Windsor red first of all. I shall add the green when I include the greens of the carrot tops, I think. Oh, while I'm at it, I should do the red of the tomatoes. So they were here. And you can see as I'm applying them, in theory, the pigment cannot go where we've already added masking fluid lime. So this is the orange. Just mixing up a bit more red for the carrots. Oh, that's probably a bit too much now. The lemon left. We're just looking at flat shapes. I'm not trying to do anything elaborate here. So the aubergine is going to be like a purpley red. So now I said I was going to add some green sections. Let's do all in one go now. Just drop in a tiny bit of the Windsor yellow just to make it a tiny bit more vibrant. The green is going on to the rind of the watermelon, the carrot tops, and also the stalk of the aubergine. Stalks to the tomatoes. That'll do. Now the fruit areas have fully dried, I can paint over them using the masking fluid. Let me just make sure my brush is primed. I have to go right to the edge of each of the fruit so it covers it completely. Don't forget the green areas as well. I can see there's a tiny space that I left in there. Must be mindful of that. Because it's dreadfully hot in here. It's drying very fast, so I'm going to have to speed up my application. So now we have to let this dry completely. The masking fluid on top of the watercolor vegetables has dried. We can now add the background color, which is going to be a very, very dark blue for me, a Payne's grey. It's one of my favorites. You can use black or dark brown or dark green, whatever you wish. This is a daunting moment, I have to say. Do make sure that you add a lot of pigment to your wash, because we really want a dark background in order for our fruit and vegetables and the pattern of the mesh to really show up against that dark background. It will make such a difference and give lots of impact. It has finally dried and I am hoping for the best. Removing this section of the watermelon, I can see that I didn't quite cover it up. Just tiny sections there, but I can live with that. Let's see what else is revealed. Oh, the orange looks good. Here's the lemon. Ah, there's a few streaks in there. And the tomatoes. Oh, they look quite good. Oh, this aubergine. Oh, that's come out very nicely. Lovely. I must admit, initially when I started taking off the masking fluid, I saw these streaks of Payne's grey, where obviously I hadn't gone over it properly with the masking fluid, and I felt, but I really think it adds to the quirkiness, to the idiosyncrasies of masking fluid. It is not a perfect medium. This particular project does have a lot more processes, which means more patience, but I really do think the results are going to be totally worth it. So please consider uploading your version to the project gallery.